Okay, I'm at Vogle. It's a campground. Really nice park. I haven't ever spent much time here. Really good park. They're in the midst of building a bunch of new cabins. I don't like the color. Need to be dark brown. It makes a color like beige. Anyway, making my way on the entrance trail. It's kind of an approach trail. It goes up to Coosa Backcountry Trail. You can take that sort of southeast to Blood Mountain and also Duncan Ridge. I think the Duncan Ridge and the Coosa Trail share some mileage to the north and west. Before they split, Duncan Ridge heads on west to Benton MacKaye Trail. Benton MacKaye, of course, heads north to Fontana and beyond, and south to Springer to the AT, which you could take the AT back to Blood, forming what is the Georgia Loop, which I fancy myself doing. That's kind of why I'm here. Get a little look at the Duncan Ridge there where it goes up to Blood Mountain. Alright, I believe that just goes up and makes a loop. We're going to keep to the left here because per the map, everything kind of hooks out to the left going back to Blood. And we want to get up to the Blood area of the AT where the Slaughter Creek and Duncan Ridge kind of come in there. So that should look familiar, and then I'm going to turn around, hopefully time willing, hike that back up to 180 and make our way backward, backtrack and come back to Vogle. So just kind of a recon. I see that little section there. I think it's only a couple of miles or so. The plan is to possibly do an overnighter. My friend Don's coming with me, and maybe do an overnighter from like Woody up to this point, come in, maybe come dump out on 180 at some point. Does get an idea for him of what's ahead, though it's going to be a lot different because the Duncan Ridge Trail heading back out to Benton MacKaye is going to be a lot lonelier than the AT's likely to be, especially in the next couple of months where through hikers are just going to be all over the AT. So we'll see. Always look for blazes. In this case, it's sort of a green, light green. This is where Don steps in and tells us the exact color, where on the palette it is. Alright, so this is the approach trail, goes back to Bear Hair Gap. We're going to keep going toward Blood Mountain. The trail changes a little bit. Those are darker green blazes going that way. And this is a green that you only get in the 24 or 48 count Crayola. If you're on the 12 or 8 count, this green is probably not in there. You could tell at one time it had been the darker green. I guess they elected to change that. So anyway, that goes back up around to Bear Hair. We're going to go this way. We should see the Bear Hair Trail come into us up here at some point. So there's shadows running in the night. You know, it'd be worth a bluff charge from a bear right now to get "Don't Stop Believing" out of my head. Just saying. This is a nice little ledge cut right here. Kind of high up. Oh, we got some kind of cabin back there. Don't know what it is. Don't know if you can see it through there. obviously that's where that little road goes. Big old spruces or whatever these are. Nice. All right, getting close. Getting closer. Some folks coming down the trail here. It's a well-traveled trail, really. Lots of folks go from Vogle to Blood, apparently. All right. Guess I'll place a rock. Let's see, I need something precarious to perch right there. There we are. It's precariously perched. I don't know how long it's gonna last there because it's kind of on a razor's edge of sorts, but still not at the junction, but thought I'd take a break here. Just because there's a nice creek here. People have been going across doing something. Little camping area here. Fellow going back down the trail. We're going to be climbing up there, so now's a good time as any to get some food. Had a gel, but I think I need something with some substance. So take a break and head back up the trail in a minute. So this is worth the price of admission here. Trail comes up, follows the creek for the most part. But look at this, you can see water cascading way up, and behind the tree here you can see, let's get around here and see if we can see a little further up maybe. Yeah, kind of hard to see through the trees, but way on up, cascading down. Just a gorgeous place. Even back here through the side, the trickle that makes its way. So right beside this waterfall, this cascade, is this huge boulder, big monolith. Really cool. Just kind of sitting out here. Really neat. Well, unbeknownst to me, the trail comes right up and around this rock. Who knew? Up over the top here. That's down where we were. And this is where we are. Really neat. This is a really cool place. I don't see a blaze, so I don't know if we go that way or that way. That looks more like trail than that does. That looks like somebody just wanted to go up top. But yeah. What an outstanding place. This is just great. Got a stream coming from that way, one coming up the hillside. Awesome. Good place to roll an ankle, I know. But it's just so cool, man. It is cool. Cool like school. Yeah, there's always a tax. And the tax is that climb. I'm out of breath. Quite a climb coming from there, but man, it's worth it. This stream coming down off the hillside here. It's a shame the trail didn't get a little bit closer, but you can kind of see that when you're approaching from down here. And nice drop, kind of like a rock slide looking thing. The water's not flowing real heavy, but man, it's just beautiful. And it's making, I'm gonna try to put the camera level. This is about level, so hopefully you can see about this, how steep. And then it's just dropping, and it's probably dropping, I don't know, 50, 80 feet just to the point right here. Gonna drop another 100 feet down, so really cool. We're at the intersection of Duncan Ridge and Coosa Backcountry. I've been hiking with, what's your name?
I'm Jim.
Jim, I'm Joe. We've been hiking a while, but only now have we had the breath to introduce each other. So he's headed back to Neil's. I'm headed to the AT, and then I'm going to come back through here and head out to 180, time permitting. So it's a hell of a climb. It goes all the way down to the falls you see in the previous scene, and we've just been switchbacking all the way up to this point. So on to the AT. All right, here at the Duncan Ridge and the AT. That goes back to Woody. It goes to Blood. Jim's gonna go
this way?
That way down to Freeman.
All right.
And I'm going back the way I came.
God.
Hey, don't know who this guy is. I hope he's not in the witness protection program. Otherwise, Guido's gonna see him on YouTube and search him.
No deny.
Time to go back. Now, those guys are going to Blood Mountain, so. And I'm back at the Duncan Ridge Coosa loop. This is where we came from earlier, me and Jim, and went that way. This is gonna go back to 180 Wolfpin Gap. Those of you who bike know Wolfpin Gap. So I'm gonna try to head out to Wolfpin Gap. It's gonna mean some road walking, but that's okay. When I get to Wolfpin Gap, I'm just gonna walk the road down, and actually hoping to jump down the hill and go into the back of the campground in Vogle. So that's kind of the plan. So this is the section I really wanted to see, was from there to here. The gnats are already out. I don't know if you can see them flying around my head. Saw some bees too. So spring is springing. We could still get a good cold snap, which wouldn't be bad. Get a cold snap, knock out the early guys, and maybe that'll reduce the number of bugs for the summer. I don't know. Anyway, heading out, and we'll see how this trail is. I'm really anxious to see what it's like. Apparently, the trail coming up to the last turnoff that I didn't film, which was Bear here, is a yellow blaze, but a lot of the blazes are kind of wiped off. We've kind of, when we get here to Duncan Ridge, we pick up a blue blaze, which if you hike the AT, you're familiar with blue blaze trails. Duncan Ridge is just a blue blaze trail. I think the whole length till it gets over to, and you can see the yellow remnants of a yellow blaze, till it gets to Benton MacKaye. So, and then Benton MacKaye, I believe, is a white diamond. So anyway, we're not going that far today anyways. That's the plan though, is to come through here and hike on to the Benton MacKaye at some point to do the Georgia Loop. So we're at about 3,800, 3,900 feet here. And I don't know how well you'll be able to see this, but right through there is the lake at Vogle. And beyond that, up the hill, you could see some buildings or homes in the very distant going up the slope to the far mountain that way. And yeah, you can see a good ways from right here. We're still heading up the Duncan Ridge Trail here. And I'm really kind of glad to see it beaten out as much as it is. I didn't think it would be beaten out quite. This doesn't get quite the traffic, obviously the AT does, but I guess being in proximity to Vogle right here, this kind of creates a loop. So this is kind of surreal. A lot of big boulders and rocks through here. A couple couple here are pretty big. Got a tree right here that's gonna be coming down soon. I don't know, maybe he'll recover. Kinda got pushed over. But yeah, these rocks kinda makes you wonder. What knocked him over? The rock didn't move, that's for sure. Something snapped him from the other end. Wind coming over. Yeah, still see the lake down there, but got these big rocks hanging out here. Best I could figure, I'm about halfway between the AT and Highway 180. Looking at the GPS on the Hook app, it doesn't have this route, but you can see where you're at in relation to the route, and so that's pretty good because I know what the distance is back because I just came that way, so it's not too long. About what I expected, 2 miles maybe, a couple of miles. So this whole loop today is probably going to be close to 5 or 6 miles for me, but we'll see. I'm going to take the highway down and come into the back of the campground, so hopefully we stay dry. No rain, but we'll see. It's supposed to be a chance. But I think this is going to take me up to a ridge top. I'm going to kind of saddle over to another ridge top and then down to Wolfpin Gap, which I shouldn't have a lot of real descending between here and there, I don't think, but we'll see. So I made it here to the gap. Still got to descend down to it. The descent off of the last mountain is real steep. I'm having some outside knee pain like before. Not quite as bad, but so far I've been doing real good today until now. So, but came to this rock and wanted to show you this, man. Look at this tree. Tree is just clinging to that rock. I would assume it's probably going inside. It's found a crack down to get into some water, but I just thought that was really, really cool. Really cool. And got another one here, not quite as dramatic, but right there along. There was another one up on the hill. They just grew right between a crack, and it died, didn't make it. Another one here. I mean, trees are just, you know what, there's another one, that same one, same rock coming up in between it there. You can see there. Doing its best. Another one right there. That rock, a few rocks there, have a lot of going on around them. I just find stuff like that fascinating, that life, you know, is like, hey, you know, if you give me a seam and I'll grow. That's pretty much what it's doing. Trying to get down the road here. You can see this is an old, I don't know, double track, maybe a logging road. I don't know. But right there where that turnoff is, and that dirt road, I believe, is the actual actual gap. The trail is going to go across there, and I believe that particular dirt road is called the Duncan Ridge Trail Road, essentially. I've seen pieces of footage of Jeeps going through that road, and I guess it's a popular road. It goes for a long way back in there. Theoretically, we could use that if we wanted to place some water, some caches along that area, because this gap starts a long section called the Duncan Ridge, where it's more really, I say, it's the meat. We're on the Duncan Ridge, but that's kind of the meat of the Duncan Ridge Trail as it makes its way over to the Benton MacKaye. Not a lot of water sources on the trail at all along that section, so that's the big caveat of doing that section, is that there just isn't much water. I've been told you have to kind of keep an ear out for it. When you hear it, make a bolt down the hillside off route and get it. So might be worth stashing some. So that's something to consider when I go do that section. But yeah, we'll make our way down here. and then just head down the highway. Vogle's down there to the right, down the hill. This is the Sosebee Cove Trail. I know we're going to come to where the Coosa goes back across again, but clearly I don't think this is it. But a little trail, you can see it going back that way. I don't know how long it is. Some kind of signage down there. It's called the Interpretive Center. You can go down and look at the Interpretive Center and read about the various wildlife in the area. Lots of cars coming down. Motorcycles too. They came through a few minutes ago. Making my way down. I think I got some more coming. Making my way down to Vogle. Well, as luck would have it, I just got picked up and dropped off. Nice lady Kimder was her name, her trail name. And her husband just did the other side of the Coosa on that side of the highway. And she saw me when she was coming up to pick up her husband's car. She told her husband, somebody's hiking, looks like they're headed down to Vogle, which I was. And she said, it's a little ways down there. So she picked me up, dropped me off here behind the cabins, which works out great. All I gotta do is go right here to the end of the lake and get in the Jeep and go. So I forgot to pay my parking fee because nobody was at the hut. So I'm gonna walk into the visitor center and see if they'll take my money. Yep, nothing to do now but get in the truck, start heading home. But I think I saw a place I might want to eat on the way home. We'll see. So I spied this place on the way. Roadkill barbecue and ribs. Oh yeah. Now when I'm fatting to get me some barbecue.